So in your book here, Extracting the Leadership from Within, I got the chance to read it. What I really did notice in it was the authenticity in it. You really shared stories that, were real, that happened and everything else. But I liked how you related it to leadership. So what was your influence on that? Because like I said, 30 years of knowledge, your 30 years of leadership, so what influenced you to say after you were done, after you retired, that you wanted to write this book? What influenced that?
Well, Izzy, I really wanted to share some thoughts that I believe that I left out, right? And then also amplify some of the ideas that I thought that made me successful as a leader, right? And then so particularly some of the methods and intention that I took to lead people and to create a certain result that I was really looking for. And that is having airmen / people in general being happy about their work, right? And where they're at. And so I started with what I thought was the best thing about me, my superpower, and that was authenticity, right? I started there. I'm an open book. I wanted to be transparent, and I believe that is the one thing that allowed people to stick with me, even when it was tough. They knew that I came from a place of transparency and vulnerability and openness and honesty, all of the qualities that I wanted to see in my own leader. So I wanted to share those in the book, right? And so I put illustrations of leaders, both good and bad, throughout the book that have shown those kind of qualities so that we could all just learn from them all. So I'm happy that I got to include all of those in there. I'm happy to be able to show a model of leadership that allows people to then pick it up and say, I can do that and I can lead in this way, and then maybe open their minds to leading maybe potentially in a different way.
So one thing I really did like, honestly, was the fact that reading the book, I felt like what your stories portrayed in it were things that people can relate to. Mm-hmm. We've all had the Brenders. We'd all had the Arvins, you know what I'm saying, the personal powers. And I really liked how you show like the positive and the negative of it. Yeah. Because just because you think that you're trying to be like a good leader, thinking that you're doing things right, in other people's eyes, it could be negative. So right. there was certain parts in the book that I really picked out, and I want to ask you some questions on it, and I want you, just to expand on it and everything else, because as I was reading through it, they really hit me. Like I was like, I need to write this down, because I felt like, and knowing that I was going to be talking to you today, I was like, man, it's cool that you were able to portray that, because not many times people have the mental process to think that way. Mm-hmm. So the first one, when I was reading it, you highlighted that 72% of the organization's success or failure is attributed to the leader's knowledge, skills, and abilities to motivate and inspire. And then you came around and said 28% comes from your team's efforts.
That's right.
Why is that? Where does that come from? Like, why is that?
So that's research says that, but let me back that up, right? And so I believe that an organization will perform at its highest level when their leader is engaged, when their leader is inspirational and motivational, and then is able to establish trust, build a sense of family, and create a culture where people can then feel comfortable that, this is a place that I work and I spend half of my life, right? Which are essentially my principles about leadership, right? But an organization will perform at its highest level because of its leader. And an organization will only get faster only if they have the support of a leader that is totally engaged. So workers can only produce so much, right? But they will also, because of their leader, they will give them what we call, discretionary effort, because because they say, I don't want to let my boss down, right? And
Right.
so they'll give them some more, and they'll take ownership of the team, of their task because of it. And so I know that for sure, just firsthand. When my boss was a great boss, I never wanted to let him down, and I
Mhm.
always wanted to give him a little bit more because of it, right? And so I have a saying that I always say, and that is, uh, people don't quit their jobs; they quit their bosses. And
Absolutely.
so this is it. Just is a testament to that research that shows that leading is what creates that high performance.